Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whenever you are tuning into this video. I hope you are having an absolutely amazing day. Can we talk today about the difference between a diet and your diet? I hope you're here for it. I hope you're ready for this conversation because what I have realized in a lot of conversations that I've been having over the last year or so is that a lot of people truly don't know the difference between a diet and their diet. And I want to help you know, for one, what the difference is, and two, what you should be focused on if you want to consistently eat healthier. Okay. Now, if you're not familiar with me, I am nutritionist Dani Taylor, and I work with women to help them eliminate overeating, feel good in their body, and finally consistently eat healthier without sacrificing their happiness or good food. Okay. Now, before we get into the difference between a diet and your diet, I want you to go ahead and tag a friend in the comments. If you know that she is dieting, if you know that she's changing her way of eating, then I want you to tag her in the comments because she may know this, she may not know this. However, if there's any gray space, it's about to be cleared up for her right now. And I don't want her to be in a space like a lot of women looking for that next diet when there's something else that's better for you to focus on. Okay. So, one of the reasons why I wanted to have this conversation today is I was just having a conversation with a new client who just signed on with me, and she was talking about how extremely conflicting the information is in the diet industry and why it was so hard for her to consistently eat healthier because she just simply didn't know what was right, what was wrong, and what to do. Right. Has that ever been you? I want you to let me know in the comments if you have ever felt like the food knowledge and food education information is just too conflicting. You don't know if you should be eating more protein, or you don't know if you should cut out animal protein. You don't know if you should be eating no carbs. You don't know if you should be eating more fat. If you have felt like, all of this diet information has been a little bit complex for you, it's hard to understand, and you feel like that's something that could potentially be keeping you from restarting or being consistent simply because you're just unsure, right? If you felt like that's when you drop down in the comments and say, yep, that's me. I know, been there, done that. I have been there and done that too. Okay. And let me just tell you, even with a nutrition background, with the way that dieting is taught, it is very easy for you to still fall into diet cycles with nutrition information. You can know what foods are the best for you in terms of nutrient density and still not know how to implement that into your lifestyle, which is, why I'm here. I help people do that. So if that is you and you see yourself in that, I want you to understand the difference between a diet and your diet. Okay. For one, a diet is a way of eating that restricts foods, specific food groups, or specific amounts in an effort for you to be able to lose weight or correct a health issue. Okay. This is also, the other definitions may describe this as prescribed rules around food for you to be able to control, your weight or your health, whatever it is, however you see the definition. What I want you to know about a diet is that it is external rules for you about eating. Okay. This is what we all see: the Whole 30s, the Mediterranean diet, the keto, the veganism. I'm gonna talk about this too in a second. A vegetarian diet. All of these different diets are simply restrictions and different ways for you to eat that is based on whatever that particular diet is. So veganism, they're not eating animal meat, and they're probably not eating any dairy or those kinds of things either. And if you really into veganism, then you take this over into your life. So you don't wear leather, you don't do all that kind of stuff too. Okay. So when you are going into a diet, you are deciding that you are going to adapt those rules to your life. Okay. Hear me clear. Don't do that. Don't do that. That should be the last thing that you do, which is essentially the first thing that most people do when they want to get healthier. They grab on and adapt somebody else's rules or restrictions to try to adjust their weight or their health or whatever it is that they're trying to change. They want to consistently eat healthier, but they're going over here adapting these rules, which doesn't lead to consistency. So, if you want consistency, what you actually should be paying attention to is your diet. And what is the difference between your diet and a diet? Your diet is what you consume. It is the food that you drink. It's the food that you eat and the drinks that you drink, right? is, for me, it's also the things that you watch, the things that you hear. All of these things do play a part in how you see your body. They also play a part in how you consume your food. So when I think of diet, I think of your whole lifestyle in your diet. How are you consuming, just the interactions around you? How are you consuming news? How are you consuming food? How are you consuming food knowledge, right? All of those things play a part into how you live your healthier lifestyle. And if you want to consistently be healthier, your diet should be more of your focus than a diet. Okay. Now, when I first got into me deciding to be in a smaller body, right, I dove into this process starting a diet, right? Back then I honestly didn't know any better. What I knew was eating a certain way didn't work for me. Me eating meat didn't work for me. So what diet could I adopt or adapt to my life and be able to not eat meat and still feel good in my body? So for me, it was veganism. So that is the diet that I adopted. However, what changed for me in the mindset of things is that I wasn't doing this as a way for me to limit certain foods or limit certain amounts to lose weight or to address health issues, right? For me, what the reason was for me to adapt that way of eating is because that was the best way of eating that felt good in my body. So for me, being plant-based isn't about me being on a vegan diet. Me being plant-based is just, that's just what I consume. That's just what feels good in my body. And this is the shift that I highly recommend that you make if you want to consistently eat healthier, because if you are going into it like, okay, I'm gonna go adopt those rules because that is what's going to help me lose weight, that is something that's going to keep you inconsistent. But if you adopt those rules in a sense of, well, if you adopt that lifestyle or that way of eating because that's simply what feels best for you, then that is a better route for you to go if you want to consistently eat healthier over time, right? So again, just breaking down, a diet is some rules that somebody else somewhere outside of you set for you to adapt to your life. The reason why you are going through diet cycles and diets are being inconsistent for you, they're not working for you, is because you are trying to adapt yourself. You're trying to adopt and adapt to rules that don't fit the way that you want to live. Now, for me, when I did keto for like a hot second, really it was a trend. Okay. So when I did keto for a hot second, and I had to do like vegan keto because I still can't do meat, it just doesn't feel good for me. So when I did keto, I absolutely felt restricted. I did that shit for like 2 weeks. I absolutely felt restricted and I could not do that any longer because I was trying to adapt my life to that way of eating, which didn't feel good for me in the way that I wanted to live my life. Okay. So you can look at different diets as a way to see different ways of eating that could be good for you. But I never recommend that you just jump into it and adapt all of those rules unless that's already what feels good for you. Okay. So for the same reasons why I continue to eat in a plant-based way, I still don't eat meat, not because I'm trying to regulate my weight in any way, just because it doesn't feel good in my body. I don't process that stuff well in my body for me. Okay. Now, if you haven't been around me long, then you know I highly recommend you customize everything. So while plant-based eating may not be, is probably the best way for you to eat too. I'm just say that. But while that may not be ideal for you in the way that you want to live your life, you might be like, I want to have a piece of steak, some lobster, some shrimp, some something every now and then, right? So you don't have to adopt that way of eating because I did. Right? That there's more than one way for you to be able to create consistently good health. And that is why I highly recommend, if you are even going to pay attention to any diets, do it in a way that you are already grounded in knowing what's going to feel good for you and your body, and you're just looking for more guidance in how to put some meals together or something like that, right? You just want more variety. You're not looking to that thing to regulate how much you're going to be eating or what you're going to be eating. You're just looking for other options, right? You're just basically just describing your way of eating. That is what I do when I say that I'm plant-based. I'm just describing the way that I eat. I'm not on some specific diet for me to be a specific way other than feeling good in my body. Okay. So if you know that you want to consistently eat healthier without sacrificing your happiness or good food, I highly recommend you ditch all diets. Okay. Ditch them, get rid of them. Whole 30, keto, veganism, vegetarian, just ditch all of that and pay attention to your way of eating that feels good for you. What feels good for you to consume in your body? What doesn't feel good? Those are the things you should take out. Listen to your body and take your body into consideration when you are creating that consistently healthier lifestyle that you want to live. Don't just go out here and adopt somebody else's food rules, okay? Now, if you don't know how to do that and you want somebody outside of you to help you sit down and figure out, what is that best way of eating for you, just to talk you through it, be the ears for you, hearing those blind spots and things that could be holding you back. If you know that you want that kind of support, then I highly recommend and invite you to come book a food freedom consultation with me, where we will sit down and talk about specifically what's been holding you back. Have you been in diet cycles and what hasn't worked for you? I guarantee you, if you do diets and you find yourself overeating the things that the diet says for you not to have, you probably want to have that in your regular diet, or you're looking at it in a way of restriction, which leads to you wanting to have that particular thing. So, either way, we address whatever it is that is holding you back so that you can finally move forward and be able to eat consistently healthier and feel good in your body without you sacrificing that variety and that deliciousness. If you know that you want that, go to the link above or below this video. It's bit.ly/, I'm ready, Dani. And let's sit down and have a chat about what has been holding you back and how you can finally get to where you want to go. All right. Again, go to the comments below this video, or you can click the link above, bit.ly/, I'm ready, Dani. Let's sit down for a food freedom consultation and get you moving on the path that you want to be on. All right. I hope this was helpful. If it was helpful for you, again, book your consultation. Otherwise, I will talk to you next time.